Hello everyone, Delta here, bringing you another tutorial video for a couple mods that I use pretty frequently. The Historical Realism Gun Sound mod, which takes the program gun sounds in World of Tanks and changes them to some better, high quality sounding gun sounds, and even adds a few neat little things when it comes to artillery shells and things like that. And also J1mB0's Crosshair Mod. But before we get started with installing these mods, I want to go over that you need to put a couple of folders into your Res Mods folder before we can get started. So you want to go to your Start menu, go to Computer, your local disk, Games, World of Tanks, and go to Res. And what we're going to be taking from here is the audio folder and the scripts folder. So left click once on your audio folder, right click on it to copy the folder. Go back to your Res Mods folder. I went a little too far back there. Go to 8.6, or the most recent update that is out, since right now it's 8.6 is the one I'm using in the video, and paste that folder in there. It's a big folder. It'll take a few seconds to get it moved over. Just wait for that to finish. Alright, it'll get moved in. 1 second. Yeah, like I said, it's a big folder. It takes a little bit of time to get it moved. Alright, there we go. Now that we got the audio folder moved in there, we're going to go back to the main World of Tanks folder and go back to the Res folder and copy and paste in the same way the scripts folder. Now the reason we don't cut and paste into these is because if you do that out of the Res folder, it makes the game go really screwy. So we'll paste the scripts in there. As you can see, it's a decently sized folder as well, and it'll take it a few seconds to get it moved in there. But once that happens, it's smooth sailing for the rest of the mod install. So let's give this a little bit of time to finish up. As you can see, it's saying about 25 seconds, so it won't take too long. This is actually going a little bit faster than that. As you can see, the scripts folder's appeared there now, and it's finalizing the move. Now, I already have the RAR files downloaded for these mods, but I'm going to show you. I'll provide the links to where you can get the mods in the description in the video below. And I also want to show you something very quickly about the Historical Realism Gun Sound mod, because you can get a little confused, at least I did at first, about how to download it. This is the site where you can get the Historical Realism Sound mod, and he keeps this the site updated fairly regularly. As you can see, 1.73 is the one that's out right now. And you'll want to click on the Download Historical Realism Gun Sound Mod v1.73 for right now, for the 8.6 update. You'll click on that. You'll follow the link to whichever one takes you to the most recent version of the mod, if you're watching this video late. That is, we'll skip that. And you'll come to a place called Add Fly, as everybody calls it. Now, what you're seeing on my screen right now is an advertisement. Do not think this is the main download. It is not. You'll want to look up in the top right corner of the screen. You'll see the Skip Ad button. You will click the Skip Ad button and not download whatever it is it's advertising. It will then forward you to another site called mega.co.nz. I'm assuming the NZ is New Zealand. I could be wrong. It'll load up. It takes a little bit of time, as you can see here. Unless, of course, you've been to the site before and it may have saved a little bit, then it's not going to take as long. It'll get here, and you will want to click on Download, and make sure you check the I agree with the Mega Terms of Service box, and then click Download. As you can see, it's a decent sized file. It may take a minute or two to download. I've already got it downloaded, so there's no problem with that. J1mB0's Crosshair Mod, the link I'll be providing takes you to Curse. If you've never heard of Curse, I love it. It's a good way to quickly install mods. Sometimes, though, they don't always install correctly, so I tend to do everything manually, and that's why I want to run you through it today. This Crosshair Mod helps. It gives you different looks for your crosshairs in World of Tanks, and it even gives you a reload countdown, and can tell you just how long your gun reloads. This way you can judge just how safe you need to stay until you've gotten reloaded. For instance, my E100 takes about 14 to 18 seconds to reload, so I know I need to stay in cover for a long while. You just click download now, and it'll download it real quick onto the desktop. Now let's install these mods. We'll start with the Historical Realism Mod because it's the one that's a little more in depth. So we're going to click on the HR Mod Gun Sounds RAR file and open it up. Give it a second. Alright, let's get these side by side. Go into the folder, and as you'll see, Res Mods will pop up. Go into it. Go into the most recent update folder that it provides. Let's start with audio. It's the one that's a little more on the it's the easier one. As you can see, we go into the audio file here on in the World of Tanks folder, Res Mods 8.6 or whatever update you're on. Go into the copied and pasted audio folder. Brings up all the stuff that was in the folder we copied from in the Res folder. Go to the audio one in the HR Mod folder. Click on the top one. Scroll to the bottom, all the way down. Hold down the Shift key and left click on the bottom one. It'll select all of these. Next, click anywhere within the blue highlighted part and drag that over to the 8.6, the audio folder we have opened up over in World of Tanks, and let go. It will extract all of those files into the audio file, into the audio folder we have over here. The move file thing about moving and replacing will pop up. You want to check the do this for the next however many conflicts it shows, and then click move and replace, and it will do that. And now that part is done, so we'll go back on both sides and then go open up the scripts folder in the HR Mod part. Follow the exact order what it shows you in the HR Mod RAR file. So go into scripts on 8.6. It says item defs, so open the item defs folder. Do it again. Go to vehicles, and now we have each folder for each nation in World of Tanks along with a common folder. Just start with the top one, which is China, in both folders. Open them both. You see you have components on both, and then the vehicle types on each side. As you can see, it's only replacing one particular file here outside of the components folder. So click and drag it over here. Move and replace. Next, you want to open the components folder. It gives you one file. Now, on the World of Tanks folder, all the way in China here, you don't have to open up the components folder. Simply click on the guns.xml file in the RAR file here and drag it on top of the components folder, and it will move it into there. Move and replace it, and that takes care of it. You're going to want to repeat this step, these steps, for each nation shown, including common. So we'll open up common. As you can see, it's just these files. There's no component folder, so we'll highlight these with shift clicking and move it over to here. Move and replace all of these conflicts that it pops up. Go back. Let's move over to France real fast. Get these moved over. Again, you don't want to move the files that are outside the components folder into the components folder. Where these files are placed is exactly where they need to go, just into the France folder, as you see, like we're doing here. And you want to move and replace each one of these conflicts. Scroll back up to where we have the components folder showing, and take that XML file and move it into components. Move and replace. Again, just repeat this process for each nation. I'm going to go ahead and quickly do that. If there are any questions or you misunderstood a part about how to move these files, just back up the video and watch that part again. I know this can be, like I said, this is a little in-depth. It can be a little hard to follow sometimes. If you have any questions, you can all message me directly through YouTube or leave comments, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. I will say that this gun sound mod can sometimes cause a lot of lag in World of Tanks. That's because of the size of the mod and just how much it changes. If you experience any lag, it's more than likely this mod. You may have to uninstall it, or if you can deal with the lag, you leave it and just make do. Also on the Historical Realism site that we downloaded this from, it has a disclaimer, or not necessarily a disclaimer, but a part highlighted in red. Let me get back to it real fast. Right here where it says note, where my cursor is circling, there is a file, as it says right there, that can cause water tanks to crash sometimes. It's not on everything, it's not on every computer, mine doesn't. But if it is doing that to you, then you want to delete the file that they specify. So don't be afraid to do that, it's okay. I couldn't remember if I did UK, so I'm doing it right now. Once you've finished moving these files over and replacing each one, then you will be done installing the HR mod, the Historical Realism Gun Sound mod, and we can move on to J1mB0's reticle mod. Finish up placing this last one right now. Alright, we're going to want to back, now we're going to move on to J1mB0's reticle mod. You're going to want to back all the way out to where you're just in the 8.6 Res Mods folder. We have the audio, GUI, and scripts folders showing. Since we're done with the HR mod part, I'm going to close out that RAR file and open up J1mB0's Crosshair Mod file. You can play around with this mod a little bit because it gives you options. If you like to play arty, especially, you want to go into, well, first let's one step at a time here. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Open up the Res Mods folder, go to 8.6 GUI, open up your GUI folder. You'll want to move the avatar input handler file. As you can see, I've already got it in mine. I'll go ahead and do this anyways. Drag it over into this main folder under Flash. You don't want to put it in Flash, just have it where it goes in there. Then open up the Flash folders in each one and copy and paste these files here. Or do the shift click to select them all and drag them over there. Have it replace each one of these. Now we'll go back, open up scripts, go to client in both. The camera node thing here is very useful, so take it and drag it into the client folder. Not any of the other folders here, but just into the main, where all you see these .pyc files. Move and replace. Then open up mods folder. If you look at on my screen right now, on the right side where the water tanks folder is, you can see there's not a mods folder in here. So what you're going to want to do is simply take the mods folder from J1mB0's Crosshair RAR file and drag it into the client folder. It will put everything you need to right there. That's taken care of. Now we're going to go back out one more time and do this part. Now, if you like arty, if you played a lot, I know with the recent accuracy and reload nerf, it's made them really tough to play. But if you're still a follower of arty, you can open up the arty mode folder, get the shell travel time part full, and this shockwave file, if I remember correctly, goes into Flash. You go into GUI, into Flash, and then drag the crosshair panel into that folder and move and replace anything if it asks you to. And that will take care of that. You can then go into normal, full. Okay, no, you don't want to mess with that. Scratch that last part. Do the shell travel time, move it over to there. This lets you in arty as you aim farther and farther away from your artillery in howitzer mode. It will show you how long it's going to take your shell, no matter what arty you're playing, to get to wherever it is you're aiming. It can help lead, even though it's gotten a lot harder with the accuracy nerf. It can also give you an idea of whether you want to take a certain shot or not, in the event that something could back out of your range in the amount of time it takes the shell to leave your gun and actually get there. A very useful thing that it's very useful. I play a little bit of arty still, not as much as I used to though. But that is all for these two mods. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me directly through a YouTube message. You can send it through World of Tanks, I check that a lot, or comment below and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Don't forget to click subscribe and like the video, please. I'm looking to get more followers, and I hope this tutorial has helped a lot. Thank you and enjoy.